ZBrush is a sculpting program and it's very useful, especially for those who have hard time to express their design skills in 2D media such as paper or Photoshop. As with any new software, you should familiarize yourself with the layout, tools, menus, and navigation first before you start creating anything. ZBrush has shortkeys and clickable options that can change interface. Can be annoying for beginner, so learn them and memorize them. Use of tab key and divider are good examples to illustrate changes that you can make to interface. Once you launch ZBrush, you get Lightbox window on the top. Lightbox is file management system where you can access project tools, brushes, and more. You can show or hide Lightbox by using comma key. To open project or ZTool, simply double-click on it, and that will load file into your scene. This will activate tool settings, 3D navigation, and other options that are not accessible previously. Here are some additional shortkeys that are very useful. By clicking function keys, you can access items from Lightbox without opening it. This works only on PC. Before you start working with ZBrush, you need to understand navigation. There are a few ways to navigate space. Let's start with use of left and right click. The difference between those two options is where you click in your scene. If you use left mouse button, you can't click over your object when you move, rotate or scale, because this will trigger sculpting brush. When you're using right button, you can click anywhere in the scene to move, scale or rotate. This will not trigger sculpting brush. Choose option that works best for you. ZBrush doesn't have orthographic view like 3D Studio Max or Maya. Instead, you can use constraints. You can constrain with left and right button. You can create custom orthographic views and switch quickly between them by setting them up first in ZBlink Properties tab in Document panel. There are buttons on the right panel that can be used to move, rotate and zoom. Next, let's talk about brushes. As with any digital brush, you can click and drag to perform specific function. In this case, sculpting. You can make changes to brush size, focal shift and intensity. To do that, you may use sliders in upper shelf or hotkeys, S for size, O for focal shift and U for intensity. You may also turn on and off symmetry by pressing X on your keyboard. If you're using mouse, hold down left button and simply click and drag across your model to sculpt in positive direction. If you hold down Alt button and drag, you will sculpt in negative direction. To smooth surface, hold Shift, click and drag. This will create smooth area on your model. Please remember that different brushes will give you different effect when you performing sculpting. To access additional brushes, click Lightbox and go to brush selection. Click on different brushes and try them out. Experiment with each brush and choose the favorite brushes. Usually you can do most of the sculpting with few brushes. You don't need to use every single brush in the palette. For quick access, hit F2 if you're working on PC. To access brush settings and other basic functions at the same time, hold down spacebar. This will give you quick access and let you work faster. For even faster brush access, you can create your own brush bar. First, go to Preferences in the tab and click Enable Customization. This will let you to make changes to the whole interface. Next, go to the brush on the left and click Palette icon to move the brush bar to the right. First, select desired brush, hit Ctrl plus Alt, click and drag to the bottom shelf. Select another brush and again hit Ctrl plus Alt, click and drag. Choose your favorite brushes for quick access. After you finish, go back to Preferences and disable Customization. Now you have a quick access to your favorite brushes as you work on your sculpture. Next, I need to mention masking. Mask represents area on your model that is protected from sculpting brush. To apply mask, hold down Ctrl key while painting on the model. So if you drag sculpting brush over the model, masked area is protected from it. If you hold down Ctrl and click off the model, you will invert mask. You can flip mask back by clicking second time. Now you can sculpt over previously protected area. You can erase parts of the mask by holding down Ctrl and Alt as you move brush over the model. To clear the mask, you need to hold down Ctrl key and drag on the canvas outside of the model. Now, after we cover navigation, brushes and masking, there is one more thing that needs to be addressed. That is Dynamesh. It is a process that redistributes clay on your model and removes stretched areas. Dynamesh is located under Tool Palette in the Geometry tab. To activate it, click Big Dynamesh button. As you click button, you will see message asking you about subdivision level. Click OK if you like to edit topology of your model from lowest level. Otherwise, click No. As you work on your mesh, you will stretch it over and over again. To perform Dynamesh action again, simply hold down Ctrl button and drag on the empty space. So before you start working on your first masterpiece, practice use of all the functions and tools. If you're total beginner, start with something simple and have a fun. You can start your sculpture from scratch with Z tools, or you can import model from other modeling programs. As long as you save it in OBJ format, you can import it to ZBrush. Make sure that your mesh is clean before you do that. Click and drag to place the model in the scene. Then turn on Edit mode, so you can start sculpting and adding details. I hope you will find this quick introduction useful. Thank you.